Within the heart of the flower is the fountain of beauty. Within the heart of the community, there's a flame that warms and dances. Within the heart of each of us, there's a spirit of life. Holy, holy, holy. Welcome.
In the city of Prague, in the land of Czechoslovakia, in the year 1923, there was a church. But the building did not look much like a church. It had no bells, no stained glass windows. It had no organ to make beautiful music. It did not even have a piano. It had no carvings of wood or statues of stone. It had no candles or chalices. It had no flowers. The church did have some things. It had 4 walls, and a ceiling, and a floor. It had a door, and a few windows. It had some wooden chairs, but that was all, plain and simple. Except the church also had people who came in every Sunday. It had a minister, and his name was Norbert Chopek. He had been the minister at the plain and simple church for 2 years. Every Sunday, Minister Chopek went to the church and he spoke to the people while they listened, sitting quietly in those hard wooden chairs. When he was done speaking, the people talked a little bit among themselves, and then they went home. And that was all. No music, no candles, no food, not even coffee and donuts. Springtime came to the city of Prague, and Norbert Chopek went out for a stroll. The rains had come, the birds were singing, and the flowers were blooming all over the land. The world was beautiful. Then an idea came to him. The next Sunday, he asked all the people in the church to bring a flower, or a budding branch, or even a twig. What kind? They asked. What color? What size? You choose, he said. Each of you choose what you like. And so, the next Sunday, which was the first day of summer, the people came in with flowers of all different colors and sizes and kinds, pink and purple and orange and gold. There were all those colors and more. Flowers filled all the vases, and the church wasn't so plain and simple anymore. Minister Chopek spoke to the people while they listened, sitting quietly in those hard wooden chairs. These flowers are like ourselves, he said. Different colors, different shapes, and different sizes, each needing different kinds of care, but each beautiful, each important, and each special in its own way. When he was done speaking, the people talked a little bit among themselves, and then they each chose a different flower from the vases before they went home. And that was all. And it was beautiful, plain and simple as the day.
Hello. Hope you're ready to do some yoga. Now's a good time to get a yoga mat or just have enough space around you to move. And we're going to start with our mantra, Ong Namo Guru Dev Namo, which means I bow down to the divine teacher within. And this mantra also connects us with all the teachers in our life. So let's rub our hands together, put our hands to our heart, and we'll say this 3 times. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Om Namo Guru Dev Namo. Now we're going to warm up our spine. We're going to grab hold of our ankles and bring our spine forward and back, forward and back, leading from our heart, forward and back. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, Now we're going to go in a circle with our spine. Going to forward, to the right, back, to the left, and forward again. Put your hands on your knees. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Come to center. And now we're going to go to the left. Inhale forward, exhale back. Inhale forward, exhale back. Come to center. Let's do some shoulder rolls. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Bring your shoulders up to your ears and down. Pretend the puppet strings are lifting up your shoulder. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale, keep them up to your ears and exhale down. And now we're going to do a head roll. We're going to pretend there's a pencil on the top of our head. Bring our chin to our chest and roll to the left shoulder, gently back to the right shoulder and center again, very gently. Inhale forward and exhale back. We're going to come to the center. We're going to go in the opposite direction. Inhale forward, exhale back. And come back to center. So in honor of the flower ceremony today, we are going to imagine we are a tiny, tiny seed deep in the earth. And we're going to feel how dark and quiet it is where we are. So we're going to sit on our heels and put our forehead on the ground and breathe there for a little while. And then the tiny seed is beginning to feel something happen to it. It's beginning to grow. And a tiny green plant is stretching up out of the ground. Begin to stretch your arms up over your head. Sit up on your heels. And then the wind blows the tiny plant from side to side. Begin to stretch your arms up over your head. Sit up on your heels. Blow through your mouth. Then the rain beats down on the tiny plant. Forward and back up with your arms above your head. And forward and back up. Drip, drip, drip goes the rain. And then the sun shines down. Stretch back and feel the sun. Lean back as far as you can. All these things help the little plant grow bigger and bigger. Straighten up your body while kneeling up. Here comes the wind again. Bend from side to side, sitting up on your knees. And here comes the rain. Bend forward and come back up. Forward and come back up. One more time. Forward, come back up. The sun shines. Stretch back and feel the sun. And now our little plant is growing much bigger. So stand up, still with your arms up. Here comes the wind to blow the plant, going side to side. Side bends. Blow through our mouth like the wind. Here comes the rain to beat down on the plant. Bend forward and up, forward and up. And now the sun comes. Feel the heat of the sun as you stretch back with your arms up. And all these things help the little parent grow into a tall and strong sunflower. Stand on your toes, reach your arms to the sun. You're a beautiful sunflower. Come back down. Come back into easy pose. We're going to sing our sunshine song. Sing it 3 times. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way. Guide your way on. We'll end with the Sat Nam, which means truth is my identity. Sat Nam. Have a beautiful day. Thank you. Bye. Happy flower ceremony.
A Bouquet of People by Claire Feingold Thorne. Let us give thanks for a bouquet of people. We give thanks for children. Like tulips and iris, they multiply around us, making the world ever more filled with color, beauty, and new life. May we bless them as they replant themselves ever further from us, knowing that they need their own space to grow into. We give thanks for generous friends as constant in bloom as echinacea, and whose gifts lift up our body and spirit. We give thanks for feisty friends as indomitable as geraniums, and for continuous friends who, like bittersweet and ivy, hold on and never let go, and can never be gotten rid of. For crotchety friends as prickly as rose bushes, their beauty a secret that is only discovered through careful gardening. For surprising friends who at first glance seem dour, and then blossom into joy as quickly as the forsythia. For funny friends as silly as snapdragons, and serious friends complex as chrysanthemums. For comfortable friends, their gentle presence as soothing as the sweet smell of lilacs. For stormy weather friends who stand by us in hard times, like lily of the valley that cannot be deterred by shade or shadow. For old friends nodding like sunflowers in the evening time, and young friends coming on fast as flocks. For friends as unpretentious as dogwood, as persistent as pachysandra, as steadfast as azalea, and who, like snowdrops, can be counted on to see you through the winter and remind you that spring always comes. For loving friends who wind around us like wisteria and embrace us, despite our blights, wilts, and witherings. And finally, for forget-me-not friends, gone but never forgotten. Their beauty lives on in our memories and our hearts. For this bouquet of people who brightens our lives, each in their own way, we give thanks. Amen.
Hi everyone. The theme this week is flowers for the service. So I'm going to teach you how to make some paper flowers. We've got some rounded kind of rose like flowers. I've got one in orange and one in pink, which is my mum's favourite colour. And we've got some sort of marigoldy kind of spiky ones as well. And I'll teach you how to make both. So yeah, keep watching. Okay, firstly, what will you need? You will need a pair of scissors, you will need some tissue paper, and make sure you have either a stapler to staple in the middle, I'll show you that in a minute, or some cotton, which you could just tie around it. So the first thing I want you to do is to grab about 4 sheets. For these, I actually used 8, so it depends on how full you'd like your flower. Actually, you can't see those now. There you go. So the first thing to do, space. The first thing to do is to cut your tissue into a square. Okay. So I've folded it. The great thing about tissue paper, it's quite thin, so it will crease if you fold it quite well. So there's a nice line with which to follow with the scissors. So here you go. These are your, I've got 4 just for simplicity, but I would do 8 to make it a much fuller flower, but I'll show you that anyway. So we've got 4 sheets of tissue paper, as you can see there, because they'll be the layers of your petals. And they're all neatly into a square. Then I want you to kind of make a centimetre fold and then carry on until you have like a fan thing going on. So go one way and then fold the other way. So fold one way and then fold the other way. Now doing it to the camera is a bit tricky, but as you can see there, there's 1 fold, 2 folds, and keep going with that. One way, the other way, and the other way. There are moments where I feel like pausing because it could be tricky, but hopefully I can do this all in one take. Right, so we've got like a little fan thing going on there, okay? And in the middle, you need to staple the center. Now, I don't have a stapler, so, and some people might not, so just to think about the people that don't have them, like me, we're going to cut a little piece of cotton. Any string will do, and we're going to tie it round the middle. Now make sure you knot it, otherwise it will slip over. So if you just tie that in the middle, it is a bit fiddly, so if you need help from a grown-up, then I would definitely ask for it. But yeah, I'm going to do 3 knots just in case. It won't really matter because the flower is quite delicate anyway, as is the tissue, so the chances of ripping that off are not very likely. Okay, so trim the edges. So as you can see there, we've got a fan of the sheets of tissue and we have bound it in the middle. Let's just bring that to the camera. Make sure it is in the center because you want your flower to be symmetrical on either side. Otherwise it might not fluff up so well, but I'll explain that in a minute. Okay, so to find the middle, obviously, we're going to bring the 2 sides together like that, just to find the center. And there is the cotton tied around the middle. Okay, next stage. Whilst it's in this strip form, I would like you to trim the edges into a point or a curl. I'm going to do a point, but you could do like a curve shape as well. These are all curved shaped, and that gives you the kind of rose-like effect. So let's do the other side, because I already have a rose-like one. So there you go. There are two pointy sides. And now, this is where the magic happens. Fan out one side. So you've got that side. Fan this one out. And then start to pull the layers. Okay, so there's a layer, and I'm going to pull it to the center of the flower. Now this does take time, and the tissue is a bit delicate, so try not to rip it. So that, as you see there, is the first part of the flower, and all I've done is pull a layer from the side. Okay, so I'll do this side and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so whilst I paused very quickly there, I've made one side of the flower. So just to remind you, this is the fan that we made, and I want you to spread it out like that and then pick out each layer. So I'm going to do this one with you. Not the wrong way around, Jamie. Just look at where your center of your flower is and make sure you go off at the same time. So there's your layer. I don't know if you can see this. There's the layer, and I'm pulling it gently to the middle. And as you pull each layer, your flower will start to come into shape. So another layer, pull it apart, be gentle, tissue will rip. Well, I haven't ripped one yet, so as long as you're gentle. And you know what? I was thinking 4 layers wasn't going to be enough, but it doesn't look too bad as 4. So if you want to do a simpler version like this, then you could just do 4 layers. It's not too bad at all. There we go. And there we have the flower. Hope you enjoy making them.
Our responsive reading today is May Our Lives Bloom Like the Flowers by Amy Zucker Morgenstern. Please join us with your part, May Our Lives Bloom Like the Flowers. Each of us is a flower with a delicate beauty uniquely our own. We may be like sunflowers turning always towards the light. May our lives bloom like the flowers.
We may be like the night blooming cereus, only displaying our fragrant petals when it's dark and we think no one can see.
May our lives bloom like the flowers.
We may be hothouse flowers, far from our native lands, cautiously tended within a harsh and unfamiliar climate.
May our lives bloom like the flowers.
We may be gray-headed like dandelions, eager to launch the new generation with the first strong gust of wind, past our own bright youth, but ready to pass our wisdom on in precious, gossamer-carried seeds.
May our lives bloom like the flowers. Some of us, sometimes, spring up overnight and fade in the hot glare. May our lives bloom like the flowers.
Some of us, sometimes, are roses, slowly assembling petal after tightly wrapped petal and revealing our full glory only when everything is in place.
May our lives bloom like the flowers.
Sometimes we are roadside weeds, loveliness bursting improbably from the dust and the debris.
May our lives bloom like the flowers.
May we offer our beauty with the simplicity of flowers, expecting no recognition, hoping for nothing, giving out of what we are, and knowing it is enough.
May our lives bloom like the flowers. May we go out into the world, each of us our own color, each of us our own kind, each of us special and unique. May we bring always more brightness, more beauty, and more love into this world.